to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm David Knight. It's Thursday, October the 3rd, 2013. Tonight we've got some interesting stories about whistleblowers and people who stand up to tyranny. We've got a first-person report by the InfoWars crew who went to the Utah data center, the brand spanking new depository of all of your information. And of course they got ticketed for photography, even though photography is not a crime. We also are going to have an interview with a major whistleblower. This is someone blowing the whistle on HSBC's massive money laundering that has happened even after they were put on suspension and given a slap on the wrist and told not to do it again. They're on probation, double secret probation, but this is still an ongoing thing. And we're also going to be talking about the founder of LavaBit, who shut down rather than turn over information illegally to the government's request. But the breaking story tonight is the entire country panicking. And it's kind of disgusting to see Eric Cantor congratulating the police over what appears to be the murder of a woman who fled from police after she was stopped at a barrier, had a small child in her car. Official sources are saying that she is dead. She's been pronounced dead. No idea why she ran or what initially started this. Did she strike the barrier? Was she terrorized by the police? We don't know, but it's a disturbing pattern that as brutal as the police are, and as they terrorize people, people are increasingly fleeing in terror. And then when they run away from the police see that as an excuse to shoot them. This is not something they would be allowed to do if somebody broke into your home under the Stand Your Ground law or the Castle Doctrine. If they're not a threat to you, you're not allowed to kill them. And yet the police are doing this regularly, as we saw even here in Austin. And a report that we've covered many times here at InfoWars, where a man fled the scene of a bank robbery investigation long after the bank robbery. And even though he didn't match the physical description of the robbers at all, he was chased down by a cop and shot in the back of the neck. So this is a very disturbing trend. And it's even more disturbing to see how people like Eric Cantor and to see how CNN react to this. Basically, CNN is watching this video that we just showed a clip of, and they're saying it just shows an amazing amount of training and restraint on the part of the police. They counted that it was a full 12 seconds before they actually started firing at the car that wasn't a threat to them or anybody else. I really cannot understand how the government can justify this, and many of us don't believe that it is justified. Well, it's not just the security that is phony. It is also Obama, again, engaging in his phony barricades, just like yesterday. It was pretty ridiculous when they shut down the World War II monument. It was outside. There was no reason for anybody to have to man it, and yet they put barricades out there to try to stress the fact that the government had been shut down in some critical or vital way, and yet the World War II veterans went through that in spite of the barricades. Today they went to privately owned Mount Vernon. And in our InfoWars story, they call it barricades, which is a great way to describe it. Feds try to shut down privately owned Mount Vernon. Now, Mount Vernon is the former plantation home of George Washington. It is owned by the Mount Vernon's Ladies Association, has been for 150 years. It's a private, nonprofit organization. It gets absolutely no government funding. They put up signs on their website and elsewhere say that there is no shutdown here. But the feds, in order to make a point, because they have they co-own the parking lot with the Mount Vernon Society, they went out and put barricades over the parking lot. Absolutely uncalled for. There's no maintenance, no reason for them to barricade a parking lot because something is not being paid. They're simply trying to, and it's very transparent what they're trying to do, simply trying to manufacture yet another crisis. But it's not just Obama that is phony. It's also Boehner. Now, one of the things that's gotten a lot of people upset is the fact that they are now excusing themselves from the same health care that they are forcing on everyone else. And of course, that really sticks in the craw of people who don't like Obamacare at all, that the Congress would exempt itself. Now, of course, they passed this not knowing that they were and their staffs were going to be put under Obamacare. As Nancy Pelosi said, they passed it and they would find out what was in it later. Well, as soon as they found out that they were in the plan, they moved very quickly to get themselves out of it. But Boehner said just the opposite. He said, why don't we make sure that every American is treated just like we are, he said. And yet at the time they found out about this, he was working with the White House, working with Harry Reid to try to get the Congress out of this health care plan. So even though he's saying we should be subjected to the same laws that we're forcing on everybody else, and making a point of saying that the Democrats wanted to get out of this. Obviously, there's something wrong with it. Everybody knows that if they want to get out of it. But instead, what he was doing privately and behind doors was sending messages to Harry Reid, working with his staff, even going to the extent that they concocted to have an immigration meeting. That's what they told everybody they were going to meet about, when in reality, it was about getting the Congress out of Obamacare that they don't want. Now you can watch the InfoWars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.